Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Deco, the place where we uncover the hidden truths behind company reports and try to figure out if they are crying wolf or roaring like a lion. Today we're diving into INVO Fertility Inc. and their latest update that dropped on August 14, 2025. Think of this as INVO's way of saying, hey world, here's how we're doing financially, especially for the quarter that ended June 30, 2025. Before we jump in, if you like getting these real meaty insights from SEC filings, please hit that subscribe button and ring the bell. Also, we've got a great community on Discord sharing insights on these kinds of reports. Links below, it's a must join. So what exactly is this document we're looking at? It's called a Form 8K, which is like a special report filed with the US Securities and Exchange Commission, or SEC. Companies use it to announce big news that investors should know about right away, like major business events or significant financial changes. This particular filing is basically INVO Fertility telling us about their financial results for the second quarter of 2025. Now, before we get into the numbers, let's briefly touch on the financial housekeeping that companies have to do. You will see references to things like ISO 4217 USD, which essentially just tells us the currency being used, in this case, United States dollars. And then there's ex-BLE shares, which is a standardized way of reporting that the company is dealing with shares of its stock. Think of it as a universal language for financial reporting, so everyone understands clearly. The company INVO Fertility Inc. is reporting its results. They are incorporated in Nevada and their stock trades on the Nasdaq Stock Market LLC under the ticker symbol IVF. This tells us they are a publicly traded company and a lot of people are watching to see how they perform. The heart of this report is really about their financial results of operations and financial condition. INVO put out a press release on August 14, 2025 to announce their financial results for the quarter that wrapped up on June 30, 2025. We are given this press release as Exhibit 99 point to this filing. Now, it's important to understand that while this information is being reported, it has some specific legal caveats. The company states that this information is furnished, not filed. This means that for the purposes of certain securities laws like Section 18 of the Exchange Act, it won't be held against them in the same way as if they had formally filed it. Basically, they are sharing the information, but with a disclaimer that protects them somewhat if the numbers weren't perfectly presented, or if they don't want it to be seen as a formal part of their SEC mandated filings unless they specifically say so later. And then finally we see this mention of a cover page interactive data file. This is part of something called inline XBRL, which is a way of making SEC filings more accessible and machine readable. So it's like a digital layer on top of the document that helps computers understand the financial data more easily. The report is signed by Stephen Shum, the Chief Executive Officer. He signed it on August 15, 2025. This is the day after the press release was issued, so it's a very fresh update from the leadership of INVO Fertility. Now, while this 8K filing itself is pretty brief and mainly points to a press release in the actual press release, which you can find as Exhibit 99.1, we'd get the juicy financial details. Since this 8K doesn't contain the tables itself, it's a bit like getting a movie trailer instead of the whole film. But from the context, we know that they announced their financial results for the quarter ending June 30, 2025. This would typically include things like revenue, earnings per share, and other key performance indicators. If this press release showed, for example, a significant jump in revenue or a surprise profit, it would be a big deal for investors. Conversely, if they reported losses or a sharp decline in sales, it would signal potential trouble ahead. Without the actual financial tables from the press release readily available in this specific document snippet, we can't do our usual deep dive into specific numbers like revenue growth or profit margins. However, the very fact that they are issuing an 8K specifically for results of operations and financial condition on August 14th tells us a few things. Firstly, it indicates that the results for the quarter ended June 30th were significant enough to warrant an immediate announcement. This could be positive news like exceeding expectations, or it could be negative news that they need to get out as soon as possible. Secondly, it shows that INVO Fertility is actively managing its public disclosures and is communicating its financial status to the market in a timely manner. Now, looking at INVO Fertility as a company from a broader perspective. They are in the fertility space, which is a growing market driven by factors like delayed childbearing and advancements in reproductive technologies. Companies in this sector often focus on innovation and expanding their reach. Their stock ticker IVF is quite telling about their core business. When companies report quarterly results, it's like a checkup that tells us how healthy the business is. Are they selling more of their products or services? Revenue is the top line that shows us sales. Are they managing their costs effectively so they can make a profit? That's the bottom line. For INVO Fertility investors would be keenly interested in how their core business is performing. For example, if they are launching new treatments or expanding their clinic network, the revenue should ideally show that growth. The world of fertility treatment can be competitive. Companies often invest heavily in research and development to stay ahead. Their financial reports are a window into how successful these investments are. Are they seeing a return on their R&D spending? Are they gaining market share? A strong financial report with consistent revenue growth and increasing profitability would suggest that they are executing their strategy well. However, if they are showing declining revenues or increasing losses, it might mean their strategies aren't working or that they are facing intense competition from other players in the market. We also need to consider that the fertility industry can be sensitive to regulatory changes and economic conditions. A strong economy might encourage more people to invest in fertility treatments, while a weak economy could lead to people postponing these procedures. Regulatory changes, for example, regarding insurance coverage or the types of treatments allowed, can also have a big impact. So, while this 8K filing is light on raw numbers itself, it points to a crucial financial update. It's an alert that INVO Fertility has shared its most recent performance figures. For anyone invested in or watching INVO Fertility, really digging into that press release Exhibit 99 is your next step to understand the story the numbers are telling. Are they growing? Are they struggling? Are they innovating effectively? All these questions should be answered in the details of the financial results they've announced. In summary, INVO Fertility Inc. has filed an 8K to report its financial results for the quarter ending June 30, 2025. This filing serves as an official notification to investors about their performance. While this specific document is a pointer to a press release, the act of filing highlights the importance of timely financial disclosure for publicly traded companies. The company operates in the growing but competitive fertility market, and its financial health is closely watched by stakeholders. The ultimate assessment of INVO Fertility, direction, strength and weaknesses will depend on the specific detail within the press release it's furnishing as Exhibit 99.1. We must look at that document to see if their strategy is translating into financial success or if they are facing headwinds. Overall, INVO Fertility seems to be actively communicating its financial situation. The key is to always look for the underlying truth in these numbers. Are they truly growing and profitable, or are they just good at presenting information? Based on this report, they are following the rules and releasing their information. The real test is in what that information actually says about their business health and future prospects. Alright, that's our breakdown of this INVO Fertility filing. What are your thoughts on this type of disclosure, and what are your fertility might be signaling to the market? Let us know in the comments. If you found this breakdown helpful, give us a thumbs up. Subscribe for more of these unfiltered corporate investigations, and don't forget to join our Discord community for more discussions and insights. Thanks for joining me on Corporate Decoder, and we'll see you in the next one.